time that we had the Gremlin, we received enough varying comment to fill a book. The reactions ran the full gamut. Some thought it was the cutest car on the road. Others, the ugliest. One fellow told us that the front half looked like a pretty nice car, but they must have lost interest when they got to the back half and just ended the whole thing in a hurry. Another said he'd rather be seen going to work on a skateboard than in a Gremlin. Like I said, the reaction was wild. But you know, we also heard that same similar comment several years ago about a car they nicknamed the Beetle. Well, regardless of the likes and dislikes, the Gremlin is selling. And during the introduction in Palm Springs, California, we asked Roy Chapin how they named the car.
We were looking for names, and names are hard to come by in the automobile business. We wanted something that would mark it as distinctive and unusual and controversial. And frankly, we felt that we used it as a code name originally, and it stuck, and everybody seemed to be accepting it. And then we went out and tested it in the field. And we had what we call a clinic, where we ask a lot of people what they think about different sorts of names, and it came right out on top, almost without qualification. In fact, the only people who had any sort of negative connotation were the ones who had recollections, perhaps, of World War II. And those were a very, very small percentage, about 7% as a matter of fact, and they were all people well up in the middle 40s and 50s.
With the Gremlin, American Motors hopes to be remembered as the company that got there first. The front half is pure Hornet. It's in the rear they go their separate ways. The Gremlin's wheelbase has been shortened by 1 foot to 96 inches. That's 2 inches longer than the VW. With anything heavy, the up and over process of loading can be a little difficult through this rear window. This is the free sunroof that allows you and Carol to enjoy the sun in the morning, the moon at night, and an occasional glimpse at a passing bird. For power, our tester had the 258 cubic inch 6, delivering 150 horsepower. We needed this additional power with the air conditioner. In the acceleration runs, it took 4.1 seconds to make 30 miles an hour. On the way to 45 miles an hour, the clock ate up 6 seconds. Without any wheel spin or excessive tire wear, we made 60 miles an hour in 10.4 seconds. While this may not be newsworthy enough to write home about, it is better than the times of the other domestic minis. In the braking tests, the Gremlin left something to be desired. From 30 miles an hour, we stopped in 41 feet. On the higher speed stops, they got hot. The pedal faded severely, and from 50, it took 94 feet. In the 70-mile-an-hour panic stops, the short wheelbase aggravated the process. Nosedive was excessive. On this one, we chewed rubber for 214 feet. With 58% of the weight in the nose, the car displayed the same front-end dive tendency when we ran through the pylon course. In the front, the Gremlin has independent suspension with coil springs, upper wishbones, and lower arms with leading struts. Our maximum speed through the cones was about 40 miles an hour. Here's the same run head-on in slow motion. Now you can notice excessive body lean. Rebound and recovery only fair. This one kind of makes you dizzy, but if you're interested, the turning radius is about 35.5 feet. For a suspension system in the rear, they employ a solid axle with leaf springs identical to the Hornet, except that in this car, with the reduced rear overhang, the leaf springs had to be cut shorter than in the Hornet. This caused some axle hop during the acceleration runs and gave the rear end a light, squirrely feel while cornering. When going into a turn, the car has strong understeer, and there's a far cry from enough power to bring it anywhere near neutral. On the good side of the ledger, it's heavier than its competition, thus giving it more stability in a crosswind. It has more power, enabling better acceleration and passing. And when you see it on the road, you don't mistake it for anything else. It may lack a few things, but originality is not one of them.